So you obviously clicked this video because you want to know more on this 1954 International pickup. Or maybe it's a 52. Yeah. This is all the stuff that we can't normally fit into a normal video, and it's my most requested comments or questions on this truck. So, without further ado, let's get right into the list. Welcome to Hi-O Stable Garage, and this is everything you guys won't see other than in this video about my International chassis swap. Here we go. So, the main question out of all this, the top one that I always get, is what exactly is this truck? You know it's an International, but you really don't know much more than that. It's a 54 International 112, if that makes any sense, an L112. It has a wheelbase of 115, at least the International part, the original truck. Sometimes I refer to this truck as a 1952. It's registered as a 1954 and its serial is a 1954. This truck is a 1954, but at one point, someone modified a front end section from a 1952. That's why when we did the front end conversion, spooky. just lost power. Give me a second. Ooh, spooktacular. Spooky. So, it's the next day. We actually lost power, out of all things, for a good 8-9 hours, and then, you know, we had to go back to work after that. So we're picking this video up the next day. What I was saying is basically when the original owner had this truck, or the owner's passed, or somewhere along its line, it got a 1952 International front grille assembly on it. I imagine it had the outer bits and everything there too, but basically they retrofitted a 52 grille piece onto a 54 cab body, that kind of stuff. So it was a little bit of hodgepodge, and it was a fully customized truck likely at one point. I wish I could find old pictures of it. It's been at a couple shows back in its prime, but I never found photos, so it is what it is. So another common question that I get is, what is the chassis that this 1954 International is on? Well, it's a 2003 four-door short bed F-150 four-wheel drive automatic. That's rocking the 5.42 valve and the automatic transmission, transfer case, all that stuff. Shift on the fly, that kind of neat stuff. It's all modern. You have your upper control arm and your lower control arm. There's our CV shaft for our four-wheel drive. It's big heavy-duty sway bar for an F-150, you know. So what are my plans moving forward with this truck? Obviously, we're going to finish it with the plan that we have. It's going to stay on this chassis. It's basically going to get smaller tires. I'm aiming for smaller height tires, a little bit wider tires, or the same size, almost like a slick. We're limited to 17-inch because of the front calipers, but the back could technically go to a 15. The drum's pretty small. But basically a smaller type tire. We'll finish the fenders, we'll cut the frame, and we'll make a whole new back half because the back of this frame's kind of rotten. We'll likely save the leaf springs and stuff off this truck and then just incorporate it into our own rails. Not a huge endeavor. It can likely be done in a weekend, and then we'll adapt our box to the wheelbase that we choose. When we cut it, we'll choose the wheelbase. Again, the truck is originally set up for 115 wheelbase, but that's the long bed version of this. I kind of want to do a short bed, a nice little stubby truck, and we'll go from there. We're also going to incorporate a trailer hitch on this truck, and likely with time, some overload bags, because I do plan on actually towing with this vehicle. So the last question I've had recently is, there seems to be a lot of people that are saying, wow, you're doing such a great job, and I could never do stuff like that. And then there's a couple people that ask, hey, like some more specific stuff, hey, like when you put the cab on, what did you do for this, and what did you do for that? That kind of stuff. And I think a lot of the general theme is, if someone else was looking to do a chassis swap or a body swap or a frame swap or some type of customization to their vehicle, how would they go about it? What's the first step? And quite literally, the answer is on the question, you don't have to overcomplicate things. The first step to working and building something is simply just to do the first step. So for this, the first step for this was going to get the truck. And then the second step for this was making the truck, the 2003, able to receive the cab. That was a whole other like 2 days of work just cutting the 2003 up. Then it was putting the cab on, and little things and little things and little things. We've been at this since, I think, March, really. The first video when I picked up the International might have been in February, but we really only started working on it in March. Well, we've been at this pretty much constantly since March, and we don't even have front fenders, a box, stuff like that, a flushed interior. None of that. So it's been a lot of little tiny pieces or little things to make one big thing to attach to another thing, but it's all snowballing. You know what I mean? Once you start a little bit, you'll gain a little bit of momentum, and you can kind of keep that going. And then after enough little things, you'll have a big thing, and then you can do that. So to answer the question is basically just start somewhere, and you'll be surprised if you stay consistent with that little bit every day or that little bit whenever you have the time. You'll be quite surprised at how over a long period you'll start to see something emerge. And that's kind of like the best scenario for that, or the best example of that, is basically this front end piece. We've had 3 videos just on this front clip, and we only started out with the grill. Now we have a whole front end, which is pretty wild to say the least, especially where this truck started out at. So it's just little things compounded that make a big thing. You just got to start out and start doing it. If there's any other questions I left out that you guys want to know, let me know. But I'm sure there will be more parts answered the more we go through with this project. We're going to get there. The project is one of these days going to be done roughly, and then one of these is going to be done polished, if you know what I mean. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video, likely putting the fenders on this. This was kind of an impromptu video. I will see you guys in the next one really, really soon. All right, see ya.